For 2,000 years, Jesus has been shown as a white European man. Pale skin, light eyes, soft features. A face that looks more like medieval kings than a first-century Middle Eastern Jew. But here's the part no one talks about. There is absolutely no historical, biological, or archaeological evidence that Jesus looked anything like the paintings we grew up with. In fact, everything we know about his real appearance points to the exact opposite. So how did the world's most influential religious figure end up looking like a Renaissance European instead of the dark-skinned Jewish man he most likely was? The answer is far more shocking than you think. Jesus was a Galilean Jew living in the 1st century. That region, modern-day Israel, Palestine, and Syria, was populated by Semitic people with olive to dark brown skin, black hair, and dark eyes. Anthropologists know this because we have bones, skulls, and genetic studies from the exact area and time period Jesus lived in. None of them resemble a light-skinned European. If Jesus walked into a modern Western church today, most people wouldn't recognize him at all. He would look much closer to a contemporary Middle Eastern man than to the paintings that dominate Christian art. So where did the white Jesus come from? Short answer, Europe created him. Long answer, it was intentional. When Christianity spread into Europe, artists began painting Jesus to look like themselves, not for historical accuracy, but for cultural comfort and political power. In medieval Europe, a dark-skinned Jewish man didn't fit the ideal image of a divine king. So over centuries, his features were quietly reshaped. Lighter, softer, more European, less Middle Eastern, less threatening to the ruling class. Jesus wasn't just whitened. He was redesigned to match the identity of an entire empire. By the time of the Renaissance, the transformation was complete. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo painted Jesus with the features of Italian nobility: straight nose, long wavy hair, pale skin. This European Jesus became the global template. Books, churches, movies, statues, everywhere. Even though the real Jesus would have looked nothing like this idealized image. But not everyone saw Jesus as white. In Africa, Jesus was painted as African. In Ethiopia, as Ethiopian. In Korea, as Korean. In Latin America, as indigenous. People naturally draw God in their own image. It's human psychology. But in the Western world, the European version became the only acceptable one. And that's where things get complicated. Some people ask, why does it matter what Jesus looked like? But appearance affects power, and power shapes culture. For centuries, the white Jesus image was used to justify colonialism, slavery, and the idea that Europeans were divinely favored. Missionaries showed pictures of a gentle, pale Jesus to non-Europeans, implying that salvation looked like them, not like the people they were conquering. This isn't theology, it's psychology, and psychology is powerful. So what did Jesus actually look like? Based on archaeological remains, genetic evidence, and historical records, Jesus was likely around 5 feet 5 inches, with dark brown or black hair, brown eyes, olive brown skin, a thick beard, and a rugged, weathered face from years of outdoor labor. A man who looked unmistakably Middle Eastern, not European, not African, not modern, but exactly like a first-century Jew from Galilee. So why is he still painted as white today? Because images endure long after facts do. Because people want God to resemble themselves. And because traditions, even inaccurate ones, are incredibly hard to break. The truth is simple: Jesus wasn't white. But the white Jesus image became so powerful, so normalized, that many people never questioned it. Maybe the real question isn't, what did Jesus look like? Maybe the real question is, why did we feel the need to change his appearance at all? What do you believe the real Jesus looked like?